jab step and right to the basket. Finally missed his first playoff game the other night, something Patrick Ewing was completely astonished by. Didn't realize what he was doing as he meandered and wandered out on the floor as Buck Williams was trying to say, get back to the bench. But it's too late once you cross that line.
Yes, Patrick Ewing, Allen Houston, Charlie Ward, and P.J. Brown all sat out Game 6 at the Garden on Friday. Pass once again by Ward, but Houston rejected. And today, Larry Johnson and John Starks, along with P.J. Brown, sidelined by the suspension. Austin. Nice look from Hardaway.
Terrific ball move by the Heat that time. Set up by Alonzo Mourning, who made the easy pass off the dribble. That's when he generally will turn the ball over.
Miami leads by 9, just under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Ewing from deep, yes. Patrick Ewing with 15. The Heat 36, the Knicks 29. Battle between Buck Williams and Alonzo Mourning. Hardaway. Ewing had the angle to cut him off, but did not want to pick up a cheap foul, so stepped aside.
Well, with Ike Austin in the game, Patrick Ewing is enabled to not have to worry about Alonzo Mourning, at least initially, but he's always looking to help out because Buck Williams has the job of fronting Mourning, but Patrick Ewing actually fell asleep defensively here as he was way too far out. Now, again, he has to be legal defensively, but you have to have your knees bent at the foul line, ready to plug the lane as Jeff Van Gundy, and you can see the look on his face, and he wishes so bad that he could have either Larry Johnson or John Starks to put into this game.
Foul committed on Mourning, his second. Dan Marley is back. Allen Houston. Allen Houston off to a slow start, 1 of 6 from the field. And it'll be Miami ball. The Heat with Leonard, Hardaway, and Marley, along with Mashburn and Mourning.
Pat Riley calling a play here, a little action, a little double curl, but I think he wants to get the ball into the hands of Mourning against Ewing.
Here's the double on Mourning. Shot clock at 6. Marley, who's been on fire from three-point range. A time forced and played well by Wallace. Did not make the contact, but came up close to prevent the good look.
Well, since the awful start by John Wallace, he has rebounded, not so much offensively. And I don't mean rebound getting missed shots. He has come back a little bit and has made 2 very good defensive plays.
3.5 remaining in the first half. 7th and deciding game between the Knicks and the Heat. And here is Wallace with his first field goal to bring the Knicks within 7. And Ward providing problems for Hardaway. Last touch by Hardaway, says Jack Neese.
And a good call by Jack Neese, who saw the play all the way. I don't know what Tim Hardaway is arguing about. John Wallace with a definitive move there. And look at the rotation on that basketball. Perfectly got his hand on the seams and went up with authority. And here, pressure in the backcourt. Charlie Ward up there as Tim Hardaway whipped it behind his back and then touched it just as it almost went into your lap, Marv.
I was ready, Matt.
Waterburn, Australia, a true story. A man was prospecting behind his trailer home when he discovered a 61-pound nugget of solid gold worth $1 million. When it comes to retirement, you can depend on luck, or you can depend on us, Sun America. We specialize in retirement investments. Ask about our personal retirement portfolios, and don't leave your future to chance. Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Tuna casserole! You got a client meeting before and you better be here.
You're not gonna wear that, are you?
Hey, lady, you're out of Huggies.
Life getting kind of complicated? Try the simple luxury of an Accord V6 sedan from Honda. It's abuse. There's no other word for it.
Some of the volleyballs on the Miller Lite AVP Tour have been spiked over 1,000 times. That's why I started a group called Save the Balls. We will not stand idly by and watch this kind of abuse.
Don't spike the balls, man. You're hurting.
Miller Lite sent us beer, but it'll take more than that. We are on the AVP Tour like stench on a bad clam.
Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel at the NBA studio in Secaucus. Coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll bring you the NBA Draft Lottery. The results of the Draft Lottery will determine the order of selection for next month's NBA Draft. Right now, in Miami, the Heat lead the Knicks by 7 in Game 7. We rejoin Marv Albert, Matt Kukas, Ahmad Rashad, and Jim Gray.
Thank you, Greg. At one point, Miami led 20-6. At one point, they led 24-10. They had reeled off 18 straight over a 5-minute stretch. A look at the center breakdown, and both Ewing and Mourning have done it at the offensive end.
Well, both of them coming ready to play, both of them producing, and for one of the rare times in this series, they have guarded each other for the most part. However, lately now with Buck Williams into the ball game, and when Ike Austin was there, Ewing got a little bit of a break, having not have to guard Mourning.
The Heat 38, the Knicks 31. As we come up on 3 minutes to go in the first half. Allen Houston with a weak pass picked off by Mourning. Another Knick turnover. It will be Miami ball. The Knicks have turned it over 10 times. The Knicks also not getting offense from Allen Houston and Chris Childs. They've combined for a 2 for 10. Childs 1 of 4 and Houston 1 of 6. Marley. And Mourning foul. Charles Oakley called for his first. Last time the Knicks in Miami were here, Charles Oakley got involved verbally with Alonzo Mourning, and that may have contributed to a large measure for what followed between P.J. Brown and Charlie Ward.
Oh, that last particular play, Alonzo Mourning, and you could see why Jeff Van Gundy does not want Patrick Ewing guarding him, and vice versa, why Riley does not want Mourning on Ewing. Just Alonzo Mourning too quick for Patrick Ewing, and he knows that Patrick just can't get low enough, move those feet and ankles, and keep him from penetrating.
Alonzo Mourning has come up with a big first half. He's been challenged, particularly here in the media, in light of the huge contract that he received from the Miami Heat and the poor playoff performance last season. Just a couple of big games in the playoffs this year. Illegal defense called once again, and it's a technical foul. Allen Houston to the line. Well, a look ahead next weekend, Memorial Day weekend. 3 superb NBA playoff games coming your way on NBC. Next Saturday, NBA Showtime will kick things off, 3 o'clock Eastern, Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Michael Jordan and the Bulls will take on today's winner. And then on Sunday, Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. Karl Malone and the Utah Jazz going up against Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets. Rockets wrapping things yesterday against Seattle. Once again, Showtime will take the air at 3 p.m. Miami 40 and New York 32. 2:20 to go in this first half. Molly coming over to set a screen. Hardaway for 3. And a nice play by Ewing, lunging for that rebound.
2 minutes left in the half.
Charlie Ward gets the pick. Mourning switches off, frees up Ewing. Ewing putting moves on Matt. And then Mourning made the contact. Crowd looking for the foul on Ewing.
And a good nod call by the officials. It didn't affect the shot or the play.
Oh, what a move by Rashawn Leonard for his first field goal. Rashawn Leonard only 2 for 8 at the Garden in Game 6. Previous game, Game 5, had the hot hand at one point, hit 6 straight jump shots. 10-point Miami lead. Houston trying to drive it to the basket, but forcing the issue. Mourning fouled by
Vashawn Leonard as a jump shooter, and he's a terrific three-point shooter, but just that little hesitation got Allen Houston to stand up straight, and Vashawn Leonard took care of the rest. And then Morty getting out and beating everybody down the floor, and Charlie Ward committing the cardinal sin, not so much committing the foul, but letting Alonzo Mourning make the layup in the process.
And you wonder in his thought process if Charlie Ward did not want to get involved in another controversy.
I don't think there's any question. A lot of things are going through Charlie Ward's mind, and I think if the Knicks lose this game in this series, it'll be an anvil around his neck for a long, long time. If New York comes back and win this game, it'll be forgotten by about 7 o'clock tonight.
Traveling violation on John Wallace. In the past, Charlie Ward has played exceptionally well against the Miami Heat. Tough time in the first half. The Knicks have now turned it over 11 times, just under 1 minute remaining. In this first half, Miami leads by 12. Chant of "Let's Go Heat." Childs able to deflect it. It'll be Miami ball with 11 on the shot clock. But first, a 20-second timeout called by Pat Riley. Well, the 11 turnovers leading to 13 Miami points.
And a lot of these turnovers have come because the Knicks wing players and guards have not gotten low enough to make that entry pass to Patrick Ewing. Here, the ill-advised pass on the lob. And once again, Allen Houston not getting a good passing angle to Patrick Ewing. After that play, Ewing had looked over the bench and said, "My fault. I didn't do a good enough job of protecting the passer." But really, it's not Patrick's fault. He has to wait for that guard to take the ball below free throw line extended to get a better passing angle, and the Knicks have just been, for whatever reason, lazy, nervous, tentative, whatever, not getting themselves in position to make that pass.
The winner today goes on to face the defending NBA champion Chicago Bulls. Game 1 Tuesday night in Chicago. They'll face a well-rested Chicago Bulls squad. And Hardaway will head to the line.
Big foul, number 1, Chris Childs.
Chris Childs called for his first. Pat Riley telling us yesterday after practice that he felt that Tim Hardaway really gained from the Orlando series by chasing around the speedy Darrell Armstrong of the Orlando Magic. Pat said with a laugh that it was a good warm-up for Tim.
Well, what he gained in that experience, he lost in a lot of fatigue. I think Tim Hardaway throughout this series has looked very winded, very fatigued, and at times looks like he has been running on fumes, and you can see the poor field goal percentage. But Tim is apt to fire up a 4 for 17 on any given game. But he is an absolute dangerous player coming down the stretch because he plays with absolutely no fear. He'll take any shot at any time.
Well, Miami has matched its biggest lead of the game, up by 14. 25 seconds remaining in the half. Ewing guarded by Austin. Now Marley over to help. Ewing gave it up. Childs trying to cover inside to Oakley. Another Knick turnover, leading to this. Last touch by Boston. Well, they say last touch by Wallace. It will be Miami ball with 6 seconds left in the half. Miami in the midst of another good run. They've outscored the Knicks 8-1 over the last minute and a half. Austin for Isaac Austin, not noted for his three-point touch. And here's Allen Houston. Charged up Miami team, a charged up Miami crowd. The Heat leading by 17 at halftime.
Well, the Heat were looking for Hardaway, who wisely curled as he could not get the ball. Left it all open for Isaac Austin, who did not hesitate one single moment.
Coming up, the Prudential halftime report after these words.
Grant, it's time to look beyond basketball. I'm thinking made-for-TV drama.
You want me to be just like Tommy, Dad, but I can only be Jake.
After that, you go on tour with your book. Then you cut an album.
I'm a cowboy.
He's a cowboy.
So, what do we think?
I'd never do something like that. Care for a Sprite?
So how'd you like playing in New York?
New York is what it's about, right? That's why I dropped 40 points on these boys.
So where'd you park?
I valeted. What else?
Valet? I don't have valet parking here.
Gonna be a while?
Rookie.
Grab a Snickers.
When you're too tense, it's common sense to relaxez-vous. The more you earn, the less you learn to relaxez-vous.
We French, you'll find, are more inclined to relaxez-vous. Relax, 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 relaxez-vous.
If you're looking for a real challenge, this is it. If you're looking for a sure thing, take the High Endurance Challenge from Old Spice. This deodorant evaporates less quickly, it also lasts longer, protects better. So try High Endurance. It's a sure thing. And now you got proof. I know I do.
Looking for a smart way to earn up to $40,000 for college? Call 1-800-USA-ARMY and ask how to qualify for the Montgomery GI Bill, plus the Army College Fund. Now, $40,000 for college. If your parents can't afford $40,000 for college, ask your uncle. The Montgomery GI Bill plus the Army College Fund. Now, $40,000 for college. Call your recruiter to find out how to qualify.
Nothing compares to Paris in the springtime. And now, tennis's most grueling Grand Slam is upon us. Pete Sampras, Martina Hingis, Steffi Graf, Monica Seles, and more. Join us for the French Open presented by Perrier. Coverage begins May 31st on NBC.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services. Now, with our live coverage of the NBA Draft Lottery, here's Greg Gumbel.
It is halftime of Game 7 between the Knicks and the Heat. Miami leading 49-32. It is Miami's biggest lead of the game. Welcome, everyone, to the 13th annual NBA Draft Lottery being held again at NBA Entertainment in Secaucus, New Jersey. The NBA Draft itself will be held on June the 25th in Charlotte. Today, the order of selection will be determined by the Draft Lottery. Before we get to the lottery, we bring in the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern. It's nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
There are people who have had quieter weeks than you have in the aftermath of the suspensions. In hindsight, are you comfortable with the decisions that were made regarding the Knicks and the Heat?
I don't think that there were any other decisions to be made.
Much has been said about letter of the law versus spirit of the law. And those in favor of spirit of the law say that it could have been kinder toward Patrick Ewing, who might have been a peacemaker or at most an observer, but he was still suspended for coming off the bench.
I think our loyalty here is to all of our players. They all know what the rules are, and it has been uniformly enforced. So, and it's really directed to peacemakers, because nobody knows when somebody is approaching a melee whether that person is a peacemaker or not. And given the size of our players, the proximity to the fans, we decided 3 years ago that if you came off the bench, you were suspended, period, no questions asked. Can you imagine if we decided at this late date that we were going to start selectively enforcing it?
Okay, so what do you say then to those Knicks fans who say, take a look at what happened between Sean Kemp and Kevin Willis, and going by the letter of the law, according to their interpretation, if you throw any kind of a blow whatsoever, it calls for a suspension, but instead a fine was given?
Judge Gumbel, it's with a closed fist. Judge Thorne concluded that when it arrived, it was more of a slap, and there's ample precedent for no suspension in that circumstance.
Okay, so again, you're comfortable with everything that went down this way?
I think the big story would be if we change the rules in this circumstance. I think our fans around the nation, including in New York, would properly be wondering what kind of a league this was.
For a couple of coaches, they have been making more news than players for a change with the kind of salaries they've been bringing down. There is a salary cap involved for players. Might there ever be one involving coaches?
I don't know. but I think it's terrific if you're going to give somebody who's in charge of your team's fortunes, who has the toughest job in the NBA, give that person the recognition both by title, authority, and money. I think that's fine. The fact of the matter is, no commissioner, no owner, no general manager, and no player has ever fired himself because the team isn't doing well. It's usually the coach. And so I have no problem with the recognition that our coaches are getting.
Rick Pitino is the new man in Boston, and depending on how this lottery goes, we may perhaps see the beginning of a revival of the Boston Celtics tradition.
For those Bucks, it doesn't matter how the lottery goes. As I said,
yes.
Look to the coach. It's a tough job, and I'm sure he's up to it.
Commissioner, thank you. Before we proceed with the draft lottery, let's determine what's at stake. Here's a look at some of the players likely to be taken early in the first round. Leading the wave of future NBA stars is the multi-talented big man from Wake Forest, Tim Duncan.
On the wing, ahead it goes, and a steal by Duncan from the half-court line. He'll run in and double dunk it.
He has it all. You know, he can run the floor, he can pass, he can catch. He's got terrific post moves. Whomever, you know, is lucky enough to draft him, it's going to be a contender immediately. I don't care who it is.
Joining Duncan is a fellow All-American versatile swingman, Ron Mercer from Kentucky.
His speed and quickness really impressed everybody. With the work ethic he showed at Kentucky, he's going to be a great player.
Van Horn in the lane, and he scored. Keith Van Horn.
Three-time WAC Player of the Year, Keith Van Horn of Utah, is an intriguing prospect.
You have Keith Van Horn, who some people don't know. Is he a power forward? Is he a small forward? The flip side is he's a terrific offensive basketball player. Great outside shooter, very good low post player, 90% foul shooter.
The Big 12 was dominated in the middle by Texas Tech center Tony Battie.
He's 6'10", he rebounds the ball very well, and he's one of the few players in this year's draft that truly plays above the rim.
And from Villanova comes the Big East Rookie of the Year, forward Tim Thomas.
He's a young kid who I saw in high school and thought was as talented as anybody in the draft last year. He has great, great skills.
On to the rules. The lottery is made up of the 13 teams that did not make the playoffs. It's a weighted system, giving the teams with the poorest records the best chance of securing the top picks. The teams draw for the top 3 picks. The remaining positions are slotted based on the team's regular season records. Under the terms of their expansion agreements, the Toronto Raptors and the Vancouver Grizzlies will take part in the lottery, but neither is eligible for the first pick in the draft until 1999. The best either can do is the second overall pick. Therefore, among the 13 teams in the lottery, the team with the best chance of securing the first pick is the Boston Celtics. Rick Pitino's new team not only owns its own first-round pick, but that of the Dallas Mavericks, which was acquired in a trade last year. Combining those two, Boston has slightly more than a 36% chance of getting the top pick. The team in the lottery with the least chance of getting the first pick is the Cleveland Cavaliers, which just missed the playoffs and has less than a 1% chance of getting the top pick. Now, the actual drawing has just been conducted in a separate room backstage. The process was witnessed by representatives of the lottery teams, different representatives from the individuals sitting here. Because Dallas's pick is owned by Boston, the Mavericks are not taking part in the draft lottery. Now, this is Mark Manoff, a partner in the accounting firm of Ernst & Young. Mr. Manoff is the only person in this studio who knows the results. It will stay that way thanks to NBA Vice President of Security, Horace Ballmer. Now, here are the team representatives. From the Cleveland Cavaliers, President and Chief Operating Officer Wayne Embry. From the Indiana Pacers, their new head coach, 3-time league MVP Larry Bird. From the Sacramento Kings, Vice President of Basketball Operations Jeff Petrie. From the Milwaukee Bucks, the 5th pick in last year's draft, Ray Allen. Representing the Toronto Raptors, Executive Vice President Isaiah Thomas. From the Golden State Warriors, Vice President and Assistant General Manager Al Attles. From the New Jersey Nets, their leading scorer this past season, Kendall Gill. From the Philadelphia 76ers, Team President Pat Croce. Representing the Denver Nuggets, Vice President of Basketball Operations, Alan Bristow. From the San Antonio Spurs, their chairman, Peter Holt. From the Boston Celtics, Executive Vice President of Corporate Development, M.L. Carr. And from the Vancouver Grizzlies, President and General Manager, Stu Jackson. We'll be back with Deputy Commissioner Russ Granick's announcement of the top picks of this year's NBA draft right after a word from the NBA.
You have opened your eyes to the needs of others and have taken action.
Why do ordinary kids do extraordinary things? Each year, the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards salutes young Americans in high schools and middle schools who have volunteered their time, energy, and spirit, proving that one person can make a difference. Prudential salutes their spirit.
I'm a victim of child abuse. My life has been ruined because someone abused me very badly. Every day I fight to survive the flashbacks and nightmares. The effects are devastating, and for me, it's lasted my whole life. I suffer because I can't trust anyone. I want to fight back. I want people to know it's wrong to abuse children.
And now, to announce the order of the top picks in this year's NBA draft, here is the Deputy Commissioner of the NBA, Russ Granick.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 1997 NBA Draft Lottery. Since the ping pong balls have already done their job, it's time now to find out the results. The 13th pick goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The 12th pick goes to the Indiana Pacers. The 11th pick goes to the Sacramento Kings. The 10th pick goes to the Milwaukee Bucks. The 9th pick goes to the Toronto Raptors. The 8th pick goes to the Golden State Warriors. 7th pick goes to the New Jersey Nets. The 6th pick goes to the Boston Celtics. 5th pick goes to the Denver Nuggets.
So the Philadelphia 76ers move up.
And the 4th pick goes to the Vancouver Grizzlies.
And
now let's see who has the first 3 picks in the
Sixers?
1997 NBA draft.
Sixers, the Celtics, or
The
the
third
Spurs?
pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Boston Celtics. The second pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Philadelphia 76ers. And that means that the first pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs. Congratulations.
So the San Antonio Spurs own the first pick in the draft. We will be back to chat with Peter Holt of the Spurs after these messages from your local station.
Get ready. Tonight on NBC, it's Third Rock's Visual Effects Spectacular. A full hour of the biggest Third Rock ever. You won't believe your eyes. The aliens get called back to their planet for 200 years.
What about Mary? Oh, she'll be dead.
Will Dick go or stay behind?
I want to marry you.
You've never seen anything like this. It's the most incredible visual effects ever seen on television. A must-see Third Rock event. Tonight, only on NBC.
The important thing for me was not to get it when I was 75 years old and retired. It was important for me to get this car now.
You don't have to wait any longer to own the Lexus of your dreams. With our certified pre-owned program, you get all kinds of affordable financing options.
I felt I owed myself, at this stage of my life, a really fine automobile.
Go to a dealership, look at the pre-owned program, and you will find your dream in that lot.
There's only one place you'll find a certified pre-owned Lexus. Tom Wood Lexus.
Hey everybody, time for a Chi-Chi's workout. Today, we're doing crunches. Use only Chi-Chi's seasoning mix and Chi-Chi's taco shells. After a little warm-up, we're ready. And lift and crunch. And lift and crunch. And the leg. Lift and lift and crunch. Eat with me, people. Don't forget to breathe and lift and crunch. So don't just sit there. Eat something. Chi-Chi's. Next time, dips.
Well, you bought yourself a great jet. You got your cup holder, your vanity mirror, and don't touch that!
Buying something big? Use the Bravo Card's innovative reserve line, a second line of credit at a lower rate for your bigger purchases.
So, how's the jacket working out for you?
Of course, within reason.
Great. Hey, where'd you fly off to?
Imagine credit and extra credit. Bravo. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
AJ, Rutherford, and Big Al talk track on the next 13 Sports Jam.
Your destiny is to become immortal.
A legend who battled nature, amazing creatures, and the gods themselves.
You cannot stop me!
On what would become the greatest adventure of all time. Vanessa Williams, Bernadette Peters, and Armand Asante.
You're home now.
The Odyssey, tonight on NBC.
Welcome back to Secaucus, where I am possibly sitting with the Rookie of the Year. Peter Holt is the chairman of the San Antonio Spurs. You were not around last year when the Spurs had neither a number 1 or a number 2 pick. What's your feeling?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. As somebody said, you sure you want to go with the luck you've had this last season? And I said, sure. And we were due, and it's great. It's great.
Your team suffered through a 20-62 season.
Yes.
Not so much from lack of talent, but through injuries.
Injuries.
What are your thoughts right now on how you'll use that number 1 pick?
Well, I think certainly Tim Duncan's the man we're going to look at. And he fits. If you put him with David Robinson and Sean and some of the other players we have, it's going to be a fantastic front line.
Yeah. How did the fans react to the kind of season that you had last year, Peter?
They stuck with us, and so glad for our fans. We've got great fans in San Antonio.
Yeah, it's a matter of your lucky tie. Is that what you said?
Yes, I think it's my lucky Spurs tie.
All right. As far as your head coach?
Head coach should be a very, very happy person
Yeah,
today.
I'm sure
yes.
will be.
Yes, he's here today also.
All right, congratulations to you.
Great, thank you.
You bet. The San Antonio Spurs with the number 1 pick in the draft. Now, by way of review, let's run down for you exactly how the lottery went. San Antonio with the number 1 pick, followed by the 76ers, the Boston Celtics with picks number 3 and 6, the Grizzlies at number 4, Denver at number 5, New Jersey 7th, Golden State 8th, the Toronto Raptors 9th, Milwaukee 10th, and then Sacramento, Indiana, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that'll do it from here. We're at halftime in Miami. The Heat leading the Knicks by 17, and we'll send it back for the second half right after this.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by Prudential, bringing strength and stability to America's families through insurance, healthcare, real estate, and financial services.
Introducing the rugged new Montana from Pontiac, with not 1, but 2 sliding doors. Something handy for whoever's passing through. Life is more exciting in Montana.
Did you remember the milk?
Michael Jordan on Life. Life is being judged every night on the highest court. It's seeing a challenge and rising to meet it. Sometimes life is an easy layup, unless, of course, you can dunk. Life is realizing the hardest thing to defend is your reputation. It's standing up to competition and thirsting for more. Life is a game face and a winning smile. Life is knowing your real team is at home. Life is about winning, winning, and winning. Life is about loss. Life is what you put into it. Life is knowing the toughest competition you ever face is yourself. Life is a sport.
Fred Couples, Masters champion. Greg Norman, 2-time British Open champion. Nick Faldo, 3 times a British Open champion and 3 times a Masters victor. But one title has eluded them all. Golf's greatest championship, the U.S. Open, this June on NBC.
Back in Miami, where the Heat are up by 17. The High Point men, Ewing leading the Knicks 15 points, 9 rebounds. Morning 16 points. Hardaway 13 points. And Matt, when you consider we're talking 7th and final game of the series, a lackluster first half by the New York Knicks.
Well, Patrick Ewing is holding up his end of the bargain, but they just could not afford an off day from Allen Houston, and that's what they've gotten. 1 for 9 from the field, and it's doubly tough with the absence of John Starks. Nobody to provide that spark off the bench.
And a very quiet first half for Charles Oakley. 0 for 3, just 1 rebound in his 15 minutes. A look at the Miller Lite halftime statistics. And the Knicks shooting just 34% overall. 0 for 7 from three-point range. And Allen Houston, as you mentioned, 1 of 9 from the floor.
And many of those shots were forced out of sync, out of rhythm. And I don't think it has anything to do with missing the one game. I think he's trying to do too much. But in this past year, Allen has had some big halves. The Knicks are going to need a huge one from him today.
And Miami, 45% shooting overall, 18 for 40, 13 of 29 from two-point range, shooting the threes well, and at the line, 8 of 13. Alonzo Mourning, 3 of 5 at the foul line. Allen Houston served the one-game suspension, missing Game 6 at Madison Square Garden on Friday night. John Starks and Larry Johnson, 2 very important players, sitting out this afternoon. P.J. Brown sitting out for Miami. Larry Johnson had a strong game on Friday night against Miami, and John Starks certainly a spark throughout the season for the Knicks, but Jeff Van Gundy does not have the luxury of pulling Houston and going to Starks. Right here, let's check in with Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, well, I spoke to the Miami coaching staff. They told their team at halftime, stay focused, guys. Remember yesterday we were watching the game Seattle and Houston. Seattle and Houston had a big lead, and the Rockets gave that up, and Houston came back. This game's not over. He's very happy with the defensive pressure, only 5 turnovers. Also said they'll keep taking the threes. They've been very successful, 5 for 11. Ahmad?
All right, thanks, Jim. Jeff Van Gundy told his team not a time to panic, but he was very upset about all the turnovers, and namely the turnovers that led to fast breaks on the other end. Also, he told his team about crashing the boards. They got to get active in the second half. Marv?
And some interesting numbers. The largest deficit overcome in the history of Game 7 play in the playoffs. 10 points. Houston did it against Phoenix in '95. This halftime deficit. And Houston against San Antonio back in 1981. The Knicks have been a good come-from-behind team this year when it comes to double-digit deficits. The best effort in that department. Foul on Mourning. That is his 3rd. The largest deficit the Knicks have been able to overcome was back on March 7th, down 20 in the second quarter to the Boston Celtics, and they came back to win it after trailing 65-45. We were talking a 61-win team in the Miami Heat, and we're talking under Game 7 conditions here.
But the reason why the Knicks are a good come-from-behind team is they play terrific defense. They force teams to take tough shots. They challenge them, and they're a good defensive rebounding team.
Just underway in the 3rd. Oakley, yes. Charles Oakley with his first field goal.
Well, a big problem for the Knicks in the first half. They were unable to get the ball inside to Patrick Ewing. Patrick got most of his points on second shot opportunities. And if the ball goes inside to Ewing, it's going to cause the double team. That'll enable his teammates to get better shots.
Here's Leonard for 3. Ewing on the box out. Charlie Ward starting the second half. Jeff Van Gundy started John Wallace right at the start of the game. Childs lost his balance, and the Knicks get a break. Last touch by Mourning.
Big break as Chris Childs, totally out of control, falling to the floor and rifles it off Alonzo Mourning instead of getting himself under control and punch the ball inside to Patrick Ewing and try to get that fourth foul on Mourning.
Here's the double on Ewing, and he finds the open man. Charles Oakley with his second field goal. 49-36 Miami. Remember, back in the first half, at one point, Miami reeled off 18 straight. The Knicks were able to cut into that gap, though. Came within 7, and then Miami went on another run. Mourning stripped. Oakley showing some signs here at the start of the third quarter. A minute and 40 gone by. Houston, good second effort. Allen Houston with his second field goal. Strong start by the Knicks. They reel off the first 6 points of the third quarter, and they have cut it to 11.
Well, once the ball goes inside to Patrick Ewing, and with Mourning in some foul trouble, the Heat, who hate to double team but have to in this instant, and you can show they're not used to double teaming. They don't cover up in the lane very well. And then this time, Patrick Ewing stayed away in transition, let Houston go to work, because Patrick is not going to be able to touch the ball every time down the floor, and it's absolutely imperative for New York to get this man going offensively after shooting just 1 for 9 in that first half. And as we broke away for that 22nd timeout, Patrick Ewing kept wanting to go at little Vashawn Leonard on just a little bump that they had on that last play, and all of Patrick's teammates had to pull him away.
Hardaway and Leonard in the backcourt. Mourning, Mashburn, and Marley on the front line. 2 minutes have been played in this third quarter. Mourning had the ball knocked away, recovered. Hardaway with the shot clock running down. Tim Hardaway. He has 15. Miami 51. New York 38.
Once again, set up on the pass on the move by Mourning, something he has trouble with, but Hardaway making a good decision not to make the extra pass as soon as he saw the shot clock was down.
Ward sets it up for Ewing. Yes. The Knicks looking sharp here at the start of the third quarter. Miami up by 11. They have a 17-point lead at the half. Hardaway for 3. Hustle, rebound, handled by Leonard. And they'll reset. Mashburn played tightly by Oakley. They isolate. Mashburn on Oakley. And Mashburn forced it. Played well by Oakley, and Mourning called for the foul. Not a smart foul by Alonzo Mourning. Chasing Charlie Ward to the baseline after Ward had taken possession, and that is costly. That's number 4 on Mourning.
Well, Alonzo Mourning was under such control in the first half, not even close to any careless fouls of that nature. And then to start the third quarter, the one that he has picked up the most, setting that pick at around the high elbow, top of the key area, stepping out unnecessarily there, and absolutely no chance to get that ball there. Just a poor play on the part of Alonzo Mourning there, and that generally puts his team in a hole.
That's been the pattern with Mourning, and now the Knicks will look to take advantage. Patrick Ewing cuts it to a 9-point lead. The Knicks have hit their first 5 shots in this third quarter. Miami 51. The Knicks 42. Ball knocked away from Hardaway. Last touch by the Knicks.
Well, Patrick Ewing on the move as Ike Austin going out to try to pick up on that pick and roll situation. And once again, the Heat not covering up in the lane and protecting.
Austin did a good job. He ate 8 points the last 9 minutes of the second quarter. And it's beginning to get testy as Childs was called for the foul on Leonard. That's 3 on Childs. The Knicks with their first team foul. Knicks have outscored the Heat here in the third, 10-2 off the 5-for-5 shooting.
Well, it looks like the Heat wants to go to Vashawn Leonard right now against Childs, but I think they got a mismatch with Jamal Mashburn against Oakley. He has too much quickness for Oakley, who's a good inside defender.
Austin again. Isaac Austin is hitting 4-5 from the field. He has 10 points. Isaac Austin, winner of the NBA's Most Improved Player Award in his 4th season from Arizona State. Oakley feeling it. Rebounded by Marley. Miami with the ball. They lead by 11. Marley gets it out to Leonard. He was trapped along the baseline. Shot clock is down to 6 for Sean Leonard. Oh, Oakley got a piece of it to keep it alive. Childs, played by Marley, and pulls it back.
And a wise decision there. What has been good to the Knicks in this 3rd quarter is this. Get the ball inside to Ewing.
And Ewing goes right at Austin. Patrick Ewing has had an exceptional ball game. He now has 21, and the Miami lead is down to 9. 5 minutes gone by in the 3rd. Marley is open for 3. Childs with the rebound and fouled by Austin.
Well, we talk about the loss of Starks and Johnson today, but this is where the Knicks missed P.J. Brown, who was doing a good job of Ewing, getting help from Alonzo Mourning, but Austin unable to do it one-on-one there.
The NBA Conference Finals, next Saturday, Sunday, and Monday on NBC.
Hey, buddy. I'll trade you my scarf for that last Bud Light. Come on. But the hat? That's fair. What more could you possibly want, huh? Oh. You got a raw deal.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I never said it was the last one.
Make it a Bud Light.
No matter where people buy and sell homes, we'll be there. Coldwell Banker Real Estate. Our 90 years of experience goes a long way. Call 1-888-574-SOLD for your Coldwell Banker office, making real estate real easy.
Men who tamper with the laws of nature do so at their own risk. A Steven Spielberg film. It's coming back! The Lost World. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday.
Introducing the rugged new Montana from Pontiac. It's the only minivan with seating for 8. Life is more exciting in Montana.
Pick you boys up same time tomorrow?
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By the rugged new Montana from Pontiac. Pontiac, life is more exciting in Montana. And by Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Patrick Ewing, 10 for 15 from the field, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and really getting it going here in the 3rd quarter. Stepping out for the jump shot off penetration, getting excellent inside position, and then just working over Isaac Austin with a nice little drop step to the baseline. And Patrick Ewing scoring where he scores best, right around the basket. Not that Patrick can't step away on occasion and knock down that 17, 18-foot jump shot.
3 for 3 for Ewing. In this 3rd quarter, Knicks have come out, hit 6 of 7 from the field. Not that time, though. Miami just 2 of 8 here at the start of the 3rd. The Heat up by 9. Mashburn posting. Oh, Oakley with the steal and called for time. What a play by Charles Oakley. Took the 20 on the steal.
Well, I said earlier that Mashburn should have a mismatch against Charles Oakley because of his quickness, but here he's trying to take him inside. That's where Oakley is an outstanding defender in the post. But the flick away and then a typical Charles Oakley play, giving up his body, I don't know if he had possession there. I guess he did as he was trying to put his hands together to get the stoppage of play. But what Mashburn has to do is pull outside, take Oakley about 20 feet away, face up, look get into that triple threat position, and then he would be able to beat Oakley off the dribble.
This is the Charles Oakley the Knicks of the Heat saw in game number 4 that really got Pat Riley going. In fact, Riley showed clips of Oakley's play to his team prior to game 5. He was just so bothered by the fact that Oakley, with his hustle, his diving on the floor, controlled the game.
And he also thought Charles Oakley started the whole problems at the end of game 5.
Well, the next game, right back, Child stepped out. Turnover number 13 committed by the Knicks. The Heat 53 and the Knicks 44 as we come up on 6 minutes left in the third.
Well, the Knicks have something good going with Ewing right now, but they can't forget Allen Houston. They're going to need his scoring.
Bad pass picked off again by the Knicks. Ewing. Marley with the rebound. Miami led by 17 at the half. In the first half, at one point, they reeled off 18 unanswered. Hardaway. And the Heat leads 55-44. Very strong all-around performance by Tim Hardaway. He now has 17, along with 5 assists. Allen Houston for 3. Allen Houston with his first three-pointer. And the Knicks will look for Houston to get going. The Heat up by 8.
And Jeff Van Gundy called that play from the sideline. He realizes that it can't be Ewing every time down the floor. Allen Houston so important with the absence of Johnson and Starks.
Ward able to tip it to Ewing. Just under 5 minutes left in the third. Marley moves up on Houston. Houston off the dribble, fired up the air ball.
Somebody opened up a door there as the wind came in and took that one way off.
Well, the Knick guards effectively going to the boards. Chris Childs able to handle it. Calls for time. 4:40 remaining in the third. The Heat lead is now 8. We'll be back with more from Miami in a moment.
Finally, you can drive what you've always dreamed about, the Aurora V8. If this engine can power the Indy race cars, imagine how you'll feel on a test drive. Isn't it time you drove your dream car? For a limited time, you can lease the Aurora for just $399 a month. See your Oldsmobile retailer. The Aurora V8, the power behind Indy.
Challenge me. Doubt me. Disrespect me. Tell me I'm older. Tell me I'm slower. Tell me I can no longer fly. I want you to.
Adamstown, Pennsylvania, a true story. At a flea market, a man bought a frame for $4. When he brought it home, he made a $2 million discovery, an original copy of the Declaration of Independence. When it comes to retirement, you can depend on luck or you can depend on us, Sun America. Ask about our personal retirement portfolios and don't leave your future to chance. Sun America, the retirement specialist.
There's a land that has the colors of the world. Yellow sands that stretch beyond the eye, and the bluest waters. In the year 2000, Sydney will bring these colors together but you can discover their warmth right now. Sydney, Australia.
Well, the Miami Heat now with an 8-point lead. The winner will advance to the Eastern Conference Final to face the Chicago Bulls. Meanwhile, the West Conference Final series settled yesterday with Houston knocking off Seattle. It will open up tomorrow in Salt Lake City and will be seen on TNT. Game 1, 8 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow night on TNT. Coming up on 4.5 remaining in the third quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, Ahmad Rashad, and Jim Gray from South Florida. Shot clock is down to 5. Ward passed on the shot. And here's Ewing. Will it count? No, it went over the top of the backboard and deflected in.
Well, actually, it could hit the top of the backboard and still go in. But what happens is it hits the shot clock, and that automatically is a violation. There it is as Patrick Ewing, shot clock down at 1. We're going to go straight up in the air and hit that shot clock.
So the Heat by 8. Leonard, along with Hardaway, Marley, Austin, and Mashburn. Mourning on the bench after picking up a 4th foul. Hardaway again. That's a 3. 20 points for Tim Hardaway.
And not that was not a very difficult shot under good defensive pressure by Charlie Ward. But Jeff Van Gundy has to be very much concerned right now with Charlie Ward guarding Hardaway, with Tim being the most dangerous player on the floor for Miami.
Ewing coughed it up. He got the position, then lost it. Leonard, who's been quiet, only 1 of 6. Austin has had another strong game, backing his way on Ewing. And then forces Oakley with the rebound.
Well, no double team there as the Knicks let Patrick Ewing just force Austin in a tough shot.
Hardaway took it away from Childs. Hardaway. Careless ball handling by Chris Childs. Turnovers have killed the Knicks here this afternoon. Now to 3 minutes remaining in the third. And the call last touch by Miami. Buck Williams now checking in for Patrick Ewing. 15 turnovers committed by the Knicks. This a major problem throughout the season.
Well, they average 18, worst in the league, but you just go another one. They just can't afford these kind of mistakes, and many of them are unforced, and they're coming from their supposed ball handlers. Guys that are supposed to be able to get the ball where they need to, supposed to be able to make the passes that they have to, and they're not doing it.
And now Tim Hardaway turned it over. Pat Riley very upset, trying to settle Hardaway down.
You know, the Knicks are just in a hurry to try to do everything, want to do things by themselves and not concerned about just getting themselves under control. And you could see it. Allen Houston wasn't even looking at the ball. He already had in his mind the move he was going to make and try to think about the shot he was going to take instead of making sure he had the ball first.
Buck Williams. Crowd wanted to travel. Foul is called on Jamal Mashburn.
Foul on 24, Jamal Mashburn, his first.
Well, when Hardaway gave it right back to the Knicks after the Knicks turnover, Riley just looked away. Hardaway. Oh, you see what happened there?
Yes, I did.
He said, my fault.
Now, the thing that we don't know is he's saying, my fault for yelling at you about the turnover, but I don't think that was it. I think Tim was going into the front court, had in his mind what he wanted to run. Riley trying to call the play, which was from behind him, and he distracted him with that. And that happens so often when players have to look to the bench.
Heat up by 12. 2.5 remaining in the third quarter, and Hardaway has been the key here in the third. 9 of Miami's 11 points have been scored by Hardaway in this third quarter. He can take over a ball game. Fires again. Tim Hardaway. 15-point Miami lead. 2 minutes to go in the third. Giles with the shot clock running down. Rejected by Austin. Fast break. Leonard with the pull-up. Changed his mind. Good play to get it to Mashburn. And the Knicks calls for the foul.
Well, no way of telling, but Pat Riley saying, I'm sorry to Hardaway, my fault. He didn't say I'm sorry. He said, my fault. That almost empowers a player and builds his confidence up, saying, hey, don't worry about that turnover. I'll take the heat for that. You keep playing, and you can see Tim Hardaway, although this guy very rarely ever loses any confidence.
Jamal Mashburn at the line for the first time. A 9-1 run by Miami. 8 of the 9 scored by Hardaway. 12 points for Hardaway in the third quarter alone. 12 of his 25. 65-48 Miami. They have a 17-point lead back. They led by 17 at the half. Of defense. Buck Williams set up by Patrick Ewing. Miami leads 65-50.
It has been the only good set play for the Knicks. Just dump the ball into the post to Patrick Ewing, wait for the Heat to make a mistake, and every time it's happened, New York has gotten an excellent high percentage shot.
Hardaway for 3. Has given the Heat an 18-point lead. He has 28. Houston for 3. Way off. Hardaway for 3. An extraordinary show being put up by Tim Hardaway. Charlie Ward. 71-52 Miami. Hardaway with 18 of his 31 in the third, and the crowd wants him to shoot again. Austin with the pick. Hardaway does shoot, and this time slightly off. Houston with the save, finding Ewing. Good look by Houston, and the Heat up now 71-54. Tim Hardaway now 6 of 9 from three-point range. 18 of his 31 in the third. Hardaway lost it. And Ward comes up short as this third quarter concludes. One of these spectacular third quarter performances in playoff history. Tim Hardaway with 18 of the Heat's 22 in the third. 6 of 9 overall from downtown. He has 31 in all.
Well, normally Tim Hardaway saves this for late in the fourth quarter. He has started early in this game number 7 as Mourning ecstatic on the bench.
Check this.
Was fouled.
It was fouled.
Huh?
That's what I'm talking about, man. Technology.
Stick to website management.
The learning.
Finally, you can drive what you've always dreamed about, the Aurora V8. If this engine can power the Indy race cars, imagine how you'll feel on a test drive. Isn't it time you drove your dream car? For a limited time, you can lease the Aurora for just $3.99 a month. See your Oldsmobile retailer. The Aurora V8, the power behind Indy.
I've got a problem. I love to read. So when I start a good book, I can't put it down. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I have to keep reading. Then as soon as I finish, I can't wait to start the next one. I better get started.
A hiking disaster, an unforgettable animal rescue. Dateline tonight.
See life's most amazing moments on real TV. Over 140,000 people are crowding into the stadium for the soccer championship. But suddenly the stadium gives way and fans fall from the upper deck. Then this rare 1976 Star Wars screen test, where Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford read for the role of their life. Plus those moments the gymnasts would rather forget. Amazing people, incredible events on real TV.
Monday at 7 on Channel 13 WTHR.
So your mother says go to Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. So here I am.
Here you are. Severe weather paint. See, it'll resist peeling and mildew.
Till my mortgage is up?
That's right. It's guaranteed to take 15 years of wind, rain, you name it. Even
a tall ladder.
One coat's all you need, so you won't spend that much time on top of
this low price.
Why do you think we're called Lowe's?
Now I can take on any project.
Yeah, if we ever finish one.
When it comes to home improvement, Lowe's knows.
A.J. Foyt and Robin Miller this month on Track Team 13.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Welcome back to Miami. I'm Jim Gray. Well, before the game, I spoke to Timmy Hardaway, and he said he was more nervous and more anxious for this game. It's his first Game 7. He said he had butterflies like he'd never had since high school. When he lost his high school championship in Chicago, Carver High, he was the best player on the court, and he had the most points in the game. He said the thing that has stuck in his craw all these years is that he didn't win that game. He said, today, this is a good feeling for me today, and I'm going to win the game this time. Marv?
All right, thank you, Jim. Tim Hardaway, who did not shoot well during the course of the playoffs, taking over this game in the third quarter. He has scored 16 of Miami's last 18 points. Patrick Ewing now has 25 as his fourth quarter gets underway, and the Heat up 71-56. Buck Williams playing Jamal Mashburn very effectively. Last touch by Mashburn.
Well, the Knicks did a good job of keeping the ball out of the hands of Tim Hardaway, finally, and Chris Childs, in effect, face guarding him, not letting him touch the ball.
Houston trying to get it to Williams. The Knicks' hope, aside from Patrick Ewing, is that Allen Houston can catch fire, and they are trying to set things up for Houston, but Miami has played him well. Houston has not shot well. 3 of 13 from the field. For Sean Leonard for 3. For Sean Leonard with only his second field goal. Miami with a 74-56 advantage.
Well, the Knicks have committed their fair share of careless turnovers and then degree of difficulty turnovers. They are reinventing the stat.
And the Knicks just 1 of 10 from three-point range, make it 1 of 11. Trying to shoot their way back into it from three-point territory. Foul is called. That's 3 on Isaac Austin.
Well, an extraordinary third-quarter performance by Tim Hardaway, 7 for 10 from the field. You see the 4 three-pointers, and for a while there, he had his way with Charlie Ward taking him to the basket.
Ewing, off a double team, had it kicked out by Leonard. The Knicks get a new 24. Tim Hardaway has etched his way into NBA playoff lore with that performance in the third quarter, accounting for 18 of Miami's 22 points in the third. Houston for 3. Allen Houston. And the Knicks now trail by 15 points. Miami opening this game with a burst, an 18-0 run at one stretch in the first quarter, led by as many as 14 in the first, led by 17 at halftime. Austin. Good box out again by Childs. Ewing double teamed and fouled. Marley and Mashburn collapsing on Ewing. Foul on Marley. His first timeout is called. 9:35 left in the fourth.
Voila, my masterpiece.
The Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider GST.
Vorrei del pane tostato.
Vorrei del pane tostato.
The perfect way to express yourself in any language.
Dove sono le valigie?
Dove sono le valigie?
Buon gusto, sei bella e parli italiano.
Buon toast, vorrei una fetta de valigie. Ciao.
The 1997 Eclipse Spider and Coupe Mirage and 3000 GT. The family of sports cars from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
This is a Big Mac. And this is a Big Mac My Size meal. Right now, one Big Mac is just 55 cents as part of a My Size meal. Buy any size fries, any size drink. Get a 55-cent Big Mac.
Large fries, small drink?
55-cent Big Mac.
Large fries, large drink.
55-cent Big Mac. Whatever size is right for you, one Big Mac is just 55 cents.
That's a Big Mac My Size meal.
This sesame seed is bigger than my head. This is my McDonald's.
This year at the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes, there's an absolute 100% sure thing. If you try to use American Express, you won't get in, because the only card accepted at the gate is Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
And today we look back at a classic Game 7 moment. Pacers and Knicks, Game 7 of the 95 Eastern Finals. Indiana up by 2, and Patrick Ewing's last-second shot did not fall. Indiana advanced to the conference finals, and it turned out to be Pat Riley's final game as head coach of the Knicks. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund.
Back with about 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Alonzo Mourning was on the bench with 4 personal fouls, and it looked like the Knicks were inching their way back into the game. Pat Riley kept longingly looking up at the clock, wanting it to go faster before he could get Mourning in the game. Little did he know at that time that Tim Hardaway was going to erupt.
And Allen Houston showing some signs. 14 points for Houston, who has not shot well. 1 of 9 in the first half, now 5 for 15. Miami leading 74-61. When Alonzo Mourning left with that 4th foul, Miami was up by 11. They now lead by 13. Here's Mourning. Alonzo Mourning with 18.
Good defense by Patrick Ewing. Took away the middle this time, something he had problems with early in the first quarter, and then a very difficult shot by Mourning.
Ewing gives it back out. Houston for 3. Allen Houston looking to pull a Tim Hardaway. It's down to a 12-point Miami lead.
Well, as you would expect, the body language of the Knicks when they were down 17, down 15, they look like a beaten team, but really their object should be to try to get this thing with around 10 points. 6 minutes to go.
Mashburn knocks down a 3. Miami 11 of 23 from downtown. 79-64 Miami. Dan Marley is the man defending on Allen Houston. Now Bashawn Leonard switches off. Shot clock out of 3. Houston. And Hardaway able to handle. Hardaway finding the rim. It has been a Jordan-esque performance by Tim Hardaway. 33 points. That basket leading to a Knick timeout.
Ladies and gentlemen, Thelonious Monk. To imply the missing note that is in between.
After conquering Earth for 30 years, it was time to comfort it. Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Montero Sport.
What are you doing?
Forgot to shave.
A remarkably smooth-riding sport utility vehicle. The Montero Sport. It puts a new face on SUV comfort.
Not bad.
Hey, you missed a spot.
The 1997 Montero Sport and Montero from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Pizza Hut. It's time to discover the totally new pizzas at Pizza Hut. By the 97 Mitsubishi Montero Sport, the smooth-riding sport utility vehicle built for living. And by Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for a good old macro brew.
Well, at one point in this series, the Knicks led the Heat 3 games to 1, but how it has turned around. The last time that a team came back from a 3-1 deficit in the playoffs to win was back in the 1995 West semifinals, Rockets and Suns. Mario Ely's three-point shot late in the game, snapping the 110 tie, and the Rockets went on to win 115-114, took the series in 7. Houston lost the first 2, down 3 games to 1, but took the last 3 games, advancing to the conference finals. Only 5 teams in the history of the NBA have come back from a 3-1 deficit to win a best-of-7 playoff series. Miami trying to make it 16. Ewing lost it. And Mourning thought he was fouled, thought he was hit from behind by Ewing, and has a valid point. 7:20 remaining in this fourth quarter. And a reach-in on Childs, and the refs on Leonard. So that's 4 on Childs, being guided aside by Knick coach Jeff Van Gundy.
Well, the Knicks have brought a lot of these problems on themselves with 17 turnovers. As we look at the comparisons between Chris Childs and Hardaway, but you also have to credit Miami's defense. It has been very sticky much of the day.
Oakley on the box out. So Oakley and Ewing are the big men with the 3 guards. Childs rejected by Mourning. Childs, Houston, and Ward in a 3-guard setup. Alonzo Mourning with his 3rd block shot. Miami by 17. 6:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Leonard for 3. And Houston coughed it up. Another Knick turnover. 2-on-1, and Marley is fouled by Ward. That was turnover number 18 by the Knicks.
Well, the Knicks have the best field goal percentage against defensively during the regular season. The Miami Heat are number 2 in the league, and right around 43%, which is what the Knicks are shooting today, mainly because Alonzo Mourning does a lot of that, protecting inside. You see where he leads with the shot blockers. John Thompson watching his 2 former centers at Georgetown, Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning.
Dan Marley, very important player in this series, in 2 games has provided a major lift. Such a big game player. In his first year with Miami, after a one-season stint in Cleveland. Distinguished career with the Phoenix Suns. He's had much playoff experience. Had a foul called a reach-in foul. It's on Mourning. That's number 5. Alonzo Mourning with his 5th foul. Here comes Isaac Austin.
Follow up on your point about Dan Marley. The irony there is he was totally ineffective in the first 3 games of this series. An afterthought, getting in with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter in Game 4. And now he's a starter due to the absence of P.J. Brown.
Patrick Ewing with 27 points. Pat Riley said he made a mistake. Should have been playing Marley more frequently. Dan Marley enjoyed that comment.
That's another one of those my fault, but he had good reasons for not playing Marley. He was ineffective with his shot and not very quick defensively.
And the foul. Oh, Chris Childs just booted the ball to the crowd. Not a smart move, which has been part of the credo of this Knick team. And it's a technical foul on Childs.
And Patrick Ewing, as one of the captains and the leaders, very quietly and calmly going over to Chris Childs and trying to calm him down. Now, if that were John Starks, I'm sure Patrick Ewing would be going over in a totally different fashion, mainly because those two have known each other many times. There's Childs with the little boot up into the stands, and Joe Crawford nailing him with the technical.
Both teams with 3 team fouls. Rashawn Leonard at the line. Leonard in his 2nd year out of Minnesota. He's been a huge surprise. Last season as a rookie appeared in 30 games, signed out of the CBA. Originally a 2nd-round draft pick of Milwaukee back in '94, but elected to return to school at the University of Minnesota for a senior season and finished as the Gophers' all-time leading scorer. This year emerged as a starter and an important player for Pat Riley. 85-66 Miami with 5.5 remaining in the 4th. Here's Ward. A hard foul on Charlie Ward. Might be a flagrant. Let's see.
Flagrant foul.
It is a flagrant foul. Matt, was that a payback?
No, I don't think so. In fact, I think they were going to try to block the shot, but Charlie Ward up in the air gets his feet out from under him. Although, wait a minute now, Jamal Mashburn, a little bit different there. Coming in from that angle, he did not even really leave his feet to try to block that shot. He wanted to make sure he committed the hard foul on the body, and that it was a flagrant foul.
Might have been one of those fouls with Jamal Mashburn whispering the name P.J. Brown in the ear of Charlie Ward.
But it's amazing to me, Marv, we see the lack of poise, the lack of control after what happened at the end of Game 5 down here. Now we see Chris Childs kicking the ball. We saw what happened in the Houston-Seattle series. And really no need for the Heat to get involved with anything like this.
Nice backdoor pass from Ward. Allen Houston has come out of the 2nd half after the poor shooting first half. 85-69 Miami. The Chicago Bulls waiting in the wings for the winner here. A well-rested Chicago Bulls team.
And I read where Scottie Pippen said, we want the Knicks, or at least he did. I don't know if he was speaking for everybody there. Patrick Ewing with authority hammers that one home because of the animosity, because of the rivalry that's been built up with New York and Chicago over the years. But I don't think Scottie Pippen or the Bulls have a chance of seeing New York next week.
Timeout called, 4:46 remaining in the 4th quarter. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
So, where do you want this?
Hey now, I ordered a new copier.
This is better than new, my friend. Allow me to demonstrate. Oh, what do we have here? Wow. Enlarges, too. Even collates. I'll take it.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I didn't think I could shove this baby through.
The Mitsubishi Eclipse Spider GST.
Vorrei del pane tostato.
Vorrei del pane tostato.
The perfect way to express yourself in any language.
Dove sono le valigie?
Dove sono le valigie?
Buon gusto, sei bella e parli italiano.
Buon toast, vorrei una fetta de valigie. Ciao.
The 1997 Eclipse Spider and Coupe, Mirage and 3000 GT, the family of sports cars from Mitsubishi, built for living.
If our totally new pizzas don't make you hungry, nothing will. And now only $9.99 for a new large with not one, but 2 toppings at Pizza Hut.
When a husband is separated from his pregnant wife,
Where's Paul?
only one man can reunite them.
You sure this is the fastest way to the maternity ward?
Bruce Willis, Paul Reiser, and Helen Hunt in the television event of the year.
Push. 2.
Mad About You, the baby, Coochie Coo, NBC Tuesday.
Back in Miami, a 14-point lead for the Heat with 4:46 to go in the fourth quarter. And a big day here on NBC. You saw the NBA draft lottery at halftime. The San Antonio Spurs coming up with the #1 pick. They had only a 21% chance of getting that top pick. Spurs #1, 76ers 2, and the Boston Celtics 3. The Celtics end up with 3 and 6.
I'm sure Rick Pitino and the Celtic organization and fans expected to come out of the lottery much better than that.
Mourning off the fake on John Wallace back on the floor. And Ewing able to get to it. A Miami Heat ball club that came out with a burst in the first quarter, 18 unanswered. At one juncture, Ewing is fouled. And Tim Hardaway helped to break it open in the third quarter with a sensational performance. This is a game that has the Knicks playing without 2 of their major players, Larry Johnson and John Starks. P.J. Brown sitting out for Miami. Could the Knicks have done anything differently today as you look at the approach of Jeff Van Gundy?
Well, I'm sure Jeff is going to second-guess himself for the starting John Wallace, thinking at all the good intentions of what that would do for John as a rookie, starting instead of coming off the bench. But it was clear that starting the third quarter with Charlie Ward, it was a much better fit, as the Knicks have been a better team with their small lineup for much of this season. Not as a starting unit, but throughout the game. That was a big factor, but also the crowd, the emotion that the Miami Heat came out with just overwhelmed the Knicks early, and then the body language and the emotions just turned off for New York.
And a foul, Jack Neese, the outside official, calling on Charles Oakley. For Oakley, his second. Charles Oakley, not the usual strong game that Knick fans have seen, particularly off the last couple of games. Charles only 2 of 6 from the field, just 4 rebounds.
And even though Patrick Ewing has had a big scoring game, 31 points, I think the inability of New York to get the ball inside to him in the first half didn't enable his teammates to get involved. He could draw the double teams and then get guys like Allen Houston, Childs, Oakley some open shots. But it's Pat Riley's theory as well. If we give up points to Ewing, shut down the other people, we'll have a better chance.
First ball foul on Allen Houston. And now both teams are over the foul limit. Down to 3:49 remaining in the fourth quarter. Miami up by 12. If the Knicks are beaten here today, and it will take a dramatic turn here in the final minutes, the Knicks would be eliminated in the second round of the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Particularly disappointing in light of the high-priced acquisitions of Larry Johnson and Allen Houston and Chris Childs.
But you know, Marv, what will be kind of a pass is the fact of the suspensions and losing the key players in these last 2 games, especially going back to Game 6 to New York.
14-point Miami lead. Ewing. Nice move by Patrick Ewing. He has 33. 87-75. Knicks showing pressure. Handled by the Heat. Austin hesitated as he saw Ewing.
And the crowd groans, but I thought that was a smart play by Isaac Austin. The clock is the ally in Miami right now. They need to chew it up.
Austin. Wallace with the rebound. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Houston for three. It is down to 9. Again, the pressure by the Knicks. And a foul. The Knicks over the limit. Wallace picks it up. Miami has led by as many as 21. And with 2:51 to go in this fourth quarter, that Heat lead is now at 9.
And you saw the disgusted look on the face of Jeff Van Gundy at that foul. And I was wondering why, because I thought the man that was fouled was Alonzo Mourning. That's the man the Knicks want to put on the free throw line, being just a 50% foul shooter, not Tim Hardaway, an excellent foul shooter.
Hardaway at 80%. Austin hears it from the crowd. He had an important stretch at the end of the second quarter. He's played very well in this series. Isaac Austin with 10 points. The Heat leading 88-78. And the Knicks call for time with 2:50 to go in the fourth.
After conquering Earth for 30 years, it was time to comfort it. Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Montero Sport.
What are you doing? Forgot to shave.
A remarkably smooth-riding sport utility vehicle. The Montero Sport. It puts a new face on SUV comfort.
Not bad.
Hey, you missed a spot.
The 1997 Montero Sport and Montero from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
What's more amazing than the places you can go on the internet? The fact that you don't need a computer to get there. Web TV from Philips Magnavox. The internet now on your television at an affordable price.
Who's the big man that slams the world with just one hand? You're damn
Acting is being.
Can't quite put my finger on it. Something just ain't right.
Shot puts up the shot and it's.
That's what I've been missing.
Don't even think about it.
Pepsi. Generation Next.
Please?
Nah.
Send email, get sports scores, find dinosaurs. Is something missing? Exactly. The computer. Web TV from Philips Magnavox. The internet now on your television at an affordable price.
Spend Memorial Day weekend with NBC in the NBA Conference Finals. Next Saturday at 3 Eastern, Michael Jordan and the Bulls face today's winner. Then next Sunday at 3 Eastern, Karl Malone and the Jazz take on Sir Charles and the Rockets. And next Monday at 3 Eastern, the Bulls meet today's winner again. A holiday treat. Next Saturday, Sunday, and Monday on NBC.
Welcome back to Miami. 10-point Heat lead. Just under 3 to go in the fourth. Tonight, an epic adventure. The incredible voyage, the ultimate saga. The Odyssey coming tonight to NBC. And this Odyssey right now with 2 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The steal by Leonard. Chalk up another Knick turnover. Number 19. Ward trying to get it back. And a foul called on Wallace.
I'm a little surprised at that last play by the New York Knicks coming out of that timeout. Jeff Van Gundy throughout all the playoffs has been really sharp on getting good plays. That's a type of play that the Knicks started this game with, a back pick for Ewing and a lob. But with the way that the Knicks have handled the basketball in this game, you don't want to be making dangerous passes like that. Now, being down 10, 2:50 to go in this fourth quarter, it's now down to 2.5 minutes. You don't have to be necessarily flinging up three-point shot. There's the back pick. And poor decision on the pass. Patrick was covered. Miami saw the play coming all the way. You don't have to take a three every time, but it certainly has to be a good option off penetration.
Tim Hardaway has 36 points. Knicks with 2 timeouts left. The Heat with 3, and a bad decision by Charles Oakley. Just a careless pass for turnover number 20.
Leading to 26 points. It has been a huge problem, and also another big factor throughout all this series. Three-point shooting in Miami has been outstanding.
Matt, what we've seen here today, and the Knicks handicapped this morning, trying to throw back outside, and
2 minutes.
Johnny Morgan, 2 minutes to go in this fourth quarter, gets it to Charles Oakley. 90-80 the score. Miami on top. What we've seen here today, the Knicks without John Starks and Larry Johnson, but Miami without P.J. Brown. We're seeing the worst of the Knicks when they have their down periods during the regular season. A regular season that produced 57 wins, third best record in franchise history, but it was an uneven performance despite the 57 victories. Wallace again on the foul. They did finish strong, you recall. Ended up second in the Atlantic, 4 games behind Miami. And then whipped by Charlotte in the first round, a Charlotte team that was hit by injuries to key players. And then involved in this tough series, grueling series with Miami. It hasn't been the best of basketball, and obviously it became fiery off developments here last Wednesday night. But here's a Miami team that won a franchise record 61 during the regular season, had difficulties with Orlando, and now in position to make it to the Eastern Conference Final round following a comeback from a 3-1 deficit.
This is the hangar. This is our plane.
What's that?
That's a rock.
This summer,
He's okay. He's a U.S. Ranger, hitching a ride home.
Con Air invites you to sit back,
Isn't that your car?
relax,
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna sit today.
and enjoy the ride.
Buckle up.
From Jerry Bruckheimer, producer of The Rock, Con Air, directed by Simon West.
I'm too old for this.
Rated R. Starts Friday, June 6th.
We were on vacation
Oh, your sunglasses.
when we realized we were sitting on a gold mine.
Rubber sunglasses.
Too bad none of the stores saw it that way.
So, any more bright ideas?
Actually, yes. Our own website. And before we knew it, we were selling shades to everyone under the sun.
Open a storefront on the internet with the most powerful network in the world.
Go to the net. Now connecting to the NBA. Welcome to NBA.com, the official website of the NBA. You have gained full access to all 29 teams and their players. Check out nightly scores and stats, read the latest NBA news, visit the NBA theater and relive spectacular plays. Browse the NBA store, even enter a live chat session with an NBA player or coach. The online world of the NBA, only at NBA.com.
Get ready. Tonight on NBC, it's the Third Rock Visual Effects Spectacular. As you can see, you don't need the glasses to enjoy Third Rock's biggest hour ever. The aliens get called back to their planet, but Dick has bigger plans.
I want to marry you.
It's a must-see event. The Third Rock Visual Effects Spectacular. Tonight on NBC.
A minute 39 remaining in the fourth quarter. Desperation time for the New York Knicks. Down by 12 to the Miami Heat. It is Knick ball as we resume. Childs off the screen, set up beautifully for the three. Chris Childs from downtown Miami 92, New York 83.
And what the Knicks should be thinking here, although not a lot of time there, not a lot of time left in this game, but Charlie Ward fouling a good foul shooter in Dan Marley. But any time Alonzo Mourning touches the basketball, the Knicks should be thinking of fouling him immediately. Alonzo just awful from the line throughout this season.
Dan Marley, though, during the regular season, 68% from the free throw line. See Mourning 3 of 5 this afternoon. 1:27 to go in this fourth quarter. Marley missing on both. And he's 4 made at the line. So the Knicks will try to get a quick basket here. Ewing puts the move on Mourning. Patrick Ewing with 35, and the Heat up by 7. Foul is given by Childs with 1:12 remaining. That's 5 on Childs. The closest the Knicks have been in the second half prior to this point was 8. With about 4.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. They cut it to 55-47 after that 17-point lead at the half. So they have it down to 7. This the closest the Knicks have been since it was 38-31. Hardaway 6 of 8 at the line, but a good free throw shooter. 80% free throw shooter, Tim Hardaway.
Well, the Knicks with only 1 timeout left. Jeff Van Gundy took that little break to bring over his 3 guards, Charlie Ward, Chris Childs, and Allen Houston, to give them instructions for this next possession. Got to be thinking three-pointer again.
Tim Hardaway with a playoff career high of 38 points, 25 in the second half. The Knicks take a timeout. It's their final timeout.
Cozy, huh?
What? Whoa.
Bedroom?
No way.
Security? Close to transportation! Classic fixtures. Ooh, what do we have here?
Bud Light.
Go ahead. It's got your name on it. I'll get my own. Nice. Huh?
I'll take it. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
That was close. I was down on my last one.
Check this. You gotta have skill.
It was foul.
It was fouled.
Huh?
Stick to website management. When I was 16, I got my first job at one of my McDonald's. My boss was cool. Glenn was so successful, he ended up buying a McDonald's, one of mine. It was a big deal for him.
Now here's a big deal at my McDonald's. Big Mac, my size meal. Buy any drink, any size, and any size fries, and get a delicious Big Mac for just 55 cents.
55 salutes the year it all began.
So get a my size meal.
Brother, I owe you. That's about it. No, you forever in my debt.
There you go.
Back at the Miami Arena, 9-point lead for the Heat, 1:12 to go in the fourth quarter. The Knicks do not have any timeouts remaining. Miami with 3 left. The Knicks able to work their way back into it, at least cosmetically, here in the fourth quarter. They've hit 12 of 16. They've outscored the Heat 31-23 to cut into what once was a 17-point lead. It is now down to 7 with 1:06 to go. And let's see. Delay of game called on the Knicks.
And Jamal Mashburn running the baseline, which you're permitted to do after a made basket. And Patrick Ewing stepping over the end line for the delay.
And again, a whistle. Jack Neese with the call on Charlie Ward. That is his 6th. So Ward is fouled out. 7 points, 8 assists for Charlie Ward. Charlie Ward at one time very popular figure in this area, certainly in the state of Florida for his football feats at Florida State. Winner of the Heisman Trophy at Florida State. Quarterback the Seminoles to the national championship back in '93 and emerged as a key figure in this series because of the incidents of the melee that took place here last Wednesday night.
Well, this man, Vashawn Leonard, at the foul line, really came up with the clinching 2 points from the free throw line in Game 6 as the Knicks closed to within 3 at 93-90 on a John Starks three-pointer. He is an excellent foul shooter.
Miami now 24-33 at the line, 73%. They have spent much time at the line. Knicks have taken only 13 free throws. 96-87 Miami, 1 minute remaining. Childs blocked by Mourning. Scott Brooks came on for Charlie Ward, got entangled with Alonzo Mourning. And a foul at the other end of the court committed by Allen Houston.
Well, Alonzo Mourning protecting the basket, and he has done much of this game, getting up very quickly to knock that loose, and the Knicks scrambling to try to foul Mourning here as 3 players rush at him. He realizes that and quickly got rid of the ball. They actually did foul him, but the referee, Jack Neese, let it go.
Vashawn Leonard is 7 for 7 at the line. Leonard with 10 of his 12 points here in the fourth quarter. So for Pat Riley, his 10th career Game 7. And looking to make it 6 wins, 6 up, 4 down in Game 7 scenarios. Mourning with the rebound and a foul. Charles Oakley and Alonzo Mourning going for that loose ball conversation between Hardaway and Oakley. And the Miami Heat clearly on their way to uncharted territory. The Eastern Conference Final with the Chicago Bulls. They split the season series, as you see, at 2-2. Michael Jordan with a 50-point game in that first meeting, but Miami plays Chicago well. Alonzo Mourning back at the line. Last season, you recall, the Bulls roared right through Miami in the playoffs. Game 1 Tuesday in Chicago. Game 2 Thursday. Our NBC coverage will begin next Saturday afternoon. We'll pick it up with Game 3 and take it the rest of the way. We're down to 40 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. Scott Brooks. Ewing backs to three-point territory. Alonzo Mourning and Charles Oakley hit the deck. And Charles Oakley and Alonzo Mourning actually showing some compassion for each other for the first time this series.
Well, clearly just Charles Oakley realizing that Mourning had that rebound all to himself, just coming in, making sure that he fouled him to put the poor free throw shooter on the line. Now, Miami did win a game in Chicago on the last closing seconds three-pointer by Dan Marley. And as much as the Bulls may have been looking forward to a series against their arch rivals, the New York Knicks, I think part of them have to be happy in the sense that the Miami Heat do not have the power and strength inside that the Knicks have when they are at full strength, have all their players, and that's the one area where Chicago could get hurt on the offensive boards. Miami, not a good offensive rebounding team.
Dan Marley hearing it from the crowd as he heads back to the bench. Tim Hardaway receiving a standing ovation, replaced by John Crotty. Playoff career high 38 for Hardaway. And what a performance for Patrick Ewing. He sat down with 37 but could not do it by himself. Allen Houston turning it in the second half, but a very poor shooting first half, which hurt. 1 of 9 from the field. 10-point Miami lead. And now Oakley fouls Mourning just to stop the clock at 16 and 7/10 seconds remaining. Well, in New York and Chicago, there was so much anticipation about the possibility of a Knick Bull Eastern Conference Final Series. It will not happen. it will be Chicago and Miami beginning at the United Center on Tuesday.
Well, the Knicks had their chances coming down here in Game 5, but just played a very poor game to a very good game by the Miami Heat. And then the problem at the end of the game basically ruined New York's chance to win this series in Game 6 back at Madison Square Garden.
And although he will not admit it, what satisfaction on the part of Pat Riley in knocking off this New York Knicks franchise, his former team. John Crotty running the clock out. It is all over. Standing ovation for the Miami Heat. They have become the 6th team of the history of the NBA to come back from a 3-1 deficit to win a playoff series. They do it by taking 3 in a row and knock off the Knicks 101-90. Nice gesture by several of the New York Knicks going over to the Miami bench to shake hands. Let's check in with Ahmad with Tim Hardaway.
All right, thanks, Mark. Timmy, you were a little nervous going into this game, but you did not play that way.
No, I didn't play that way, but I was a little nervous. I was anxious to get this game going, and it showed today. I was just hyper and just came out with energy and just started making shots.
What was the mindset on this team when you guys were down 3-1? Still thought you'd come back?
Yeah, we still thought we'd come back, but it was just every game, one game at a time, and just win one game at a time and try to get the series.
And you knew the pressure would be on you. They had to have a big game to win it today.
Yeah, I had to. My big man was in foul trouble. I had to make some shots.
All right, congratulations, Tim. We'll see you next series.
All right, thanks.
All right, let's go over to Jim Gray. It was with Alonzo Mourning.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. I'm here with Alonzo Mourning. Alonzo, congratulations.
Thank you.
The first question that really needs to be asked here is, if both teams had their full complement of players, would you guys have been able to come back from that 3-1 deficit, particularly winning the last 2 games?
Yes, we would have been capable of beating the team. We beat them with their whole squad, you know, so they didn't it would have made a difference, but we still would have been capable of beating them.
Alonzo, you're a very close friend with Patrick Ewing. He was your mentor. You've got to feel very bad for him, I'm sure, because he had virtually guaranteed a win and said that he thought that this was his championship year. Your feelings toward him?
Well, listen, you know, we have established a relationship over the years that's inseparable. You know, he's been a great inspiration to my career and, you know, to me as a person, you know, and I do feel bad, but at the same time, we have learned to separate the two. There's business and there's friendship, and he understands that, but that won't change our friendship at all.
Quickly, can you beat Chicago?
Without a doubt, we can. If we stay focused, have PJ back in the lineup, and we execute, don't turn the ball over because they thrive off of turnovers. We take care of the ball and execute. We have no problem with beating Chicago, and the key to it is defense.
Alonzo, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's send it back now to Marv Albert.
All right, thank you, Jim. And the pattern continues. In Game 7s, the home team now has won 24 of the last 26. Miami with the first at the start, and they take Game 7 for the New York Knicks, meaning a meeting with the Chicago Bulls in the Eastern Conference Final beginning on Tuesday. What a lineup tonight on NBC. First Dateline, followed by a special 3D visual effects. Third rock of the All-Star event of May, The Odyssey. For Matt Kukas, Ahmad Rashad, and Jim Gray. Marv Albert saying so long from Miami. This has been the NBA on NBC.
The NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, the Ryder Cup, Notre Dame football, the PGA Tour, Wimbledon, the USGA Championships, and the 2000 and 2002 Olympic Games, all on America's sports leader, NBC.
Hallmark Entertainment presents the greatest journey to the greatest wonders.
You don't recognize me?
Of the greatest adventure ever told.
All the secrets of the world.
What secrets? Vanessa Williams, Bernadette Peters, and Armand Asante. The Odyssey, tonight on NBC.
Honey, the island's all yours.
And this is Tomas. He comes with it.
This key opens everything.
Buying something big? Use the Bravo Card's innovative reserve line, a second line of credit at a lower rate for your bigger purchases.
Ma'am, the key to your luggage?
Of course, within reason.
Oh, yes, the key to my luggage.
Imagine credit and extra credit. Bravo. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Welcome to the Nissan store. Now, stop me if you've heard this. I want a luxury car, but I don't want to pay for one. Oh, you've actually said it. Okay, then check out the Nissan Altima. Nice, huh? Rated a best overall value in its class by IntelliChoice, as in intelligent. And just look at all this stuff. Air, AM, FM cassette, dual airbags. What's the deal? Okay, so now you can save your money for other luxuries, like maybe food.
Hi! We're thinking about having a baby. Could we try yours for 30 days?
Wouldn't it be nice if you could try things before making a commitment? Ameritech will let you try a cellular phone for 30 days.
Want to go for a ride?
You'll probably want to keep it. But if not, just return it. Try an Ameritech cellular phone for 30 days with free local calls. If it's not right for you, just bring it back. Ameritech, your link to better communication.
People have asked us, what makes a great steak sandwich? Well, it all starts right here, in America's heartland, where everyone knows it's all in how you slice the beef. Thin, real thin. Hardee's new tender steak sandwiches, sliced thin to be tender and juicy. There's the Philly steak, the deluxe, and even a steak and egg breakfast sandwich. Hardee's tender steak sandwiches. What will they think of next?
In Denton, Texas, a lot of folks who work on their cars go to AutoZone because they know they're going to find quality parts, low prices, great selection, and good people like Tom Robinson. You see, Tom's the kind of guy who really likes to help folks out. And since he's been around cars most all his life, he knows his parts, too. Oh, sure, there are other parts stores in town, but when it comes to getting the right part, the right price, and good advice from folks like Tom, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
WTHR congratulates all of its 39 Emmy nominees.
Myself to try to help them, and so it's a nice little odyssey.
Due to the length of the preceding sports program, we now join our regular program already in progress.
80% female green peas.
Thanks. Noble.
Yeah. Well, Noble was last year. This year I'm getting paid. Hammond's check cleared. Or I wouldn't be going on this wild goose chase.
Where you're going is the only place in the world where the geese chase you.
Well, we don't want to give too much away, but there's the set that this is part of.
And there are no dinosaurs anymore around here, right? Well, maybe not. Okay, go ahead.
If you wanted to rescue me from something, why didn't you bail me out of that fundraiser at the museum 3 weeks ago like you said you would?
There's a slightly different situation.
Or why not rescue me from that dinner with your parents that you never showed up for? Why not rescue me when I really need it? Actually, be there when you say you will. You know, I have made a career out of waiting for you.
You know, Sarah has a pretty good...
It's so important to your future that you not finish that sentence, please. It's privacy outside.
Ian, you guys should definitely go. But I'm gonna stay. I love you. I just don't need you right now.
I'll tell you what you need, a good antipsychotic.
I'll be back in 5 or 6 days.
No, you'll be back in 5 or 6 pieces.
What bothers you is that I'm not afraid of this place and you are.
Of course I am. That's the whole thing. There's a lost world. It's an island off of Costa Rica. It's nearby the first island, but it turns out this island was the factory island where they made the dinosaurs. The other was just the show place. There's been a hurricane 4 years ago. People have left, so it's become this entirely, exclusively dinosaur-inhabited place. So it's like a prehistoric, lost world island. A bunch of different people, for different reasons, find themselves there and find themselves in a life and death struggle with dinosaurs once again. And then some things that I don't want to really give away happen that are very surprising, and dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs?
Yeah.
And now it's only a matter of time before this lost world is found and pillaged.
All right, Coach, I'll see you back in class next week.
Thanks, man.
You got it?
Nice to see you.
Coming up next, Tyra Banks, Michael Richards, Rosie O'Donnell.
Does it seem like the weekend is the only time to take care of personal business? The problem is that when you're off, just about everyone else is too, but not at the Money Store. If you're thinking about refinancing or getting a home equity loan, call the Money Store this weekend and apply by phone. There's no application fee, and chances are you'll have an approval by Tuesday.
Palmer, there's still more bags in the car.
So if you want to refinance your home or get a home equity loan, call the Money Store this weekend at 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila. Vinyl siding from Sears can end the home repainting cycle for your family. And if you enter the Take Your Best Shot vinyl siding contest, you might win a free siding application from Sears. Here's Tommy with the details.
Thanks, Bob. If your home needs vinyl siding, we'll send you a brand new $2 bill for a picture of it, an envelope to send us back your picture, and complete rules. If your picture is one of the 2 chosen by our advertising agency, we'll install bright new vinyl siding from Sears on your home free. If you're a homeowner, call us.
We asked several winners from last year how they felt.
I'm excited a lot.
I was elated.
We were very excited to get the news.
Speechless. I was speechless.
I felt elated.
If you'd like bright new vinyl siding from Sears on your home, give us a call right now for your Take Your Best Shot contest entry form. The least you'll get is a brand new $2 bill, and you might be the winner of one of the 2 new vinyl siding installations from Sears to be given away.
Go ahead, take your best shot. It might mean a free vinyl siding installation for your home from Sears.
Online Help Wanted presents a McDonald's success story.
By me starting out at a very young age, 16, and working for McDonald's, I still had some impressionable years. The particular McDonald's that I worked at, we were very close, and not only did we work very hard, but we enjoyed working. While I was there, again, it reinforced so many things that I believed in. It did encourage me to be the best that I could be.
Hanging with Tyra Banks.
Hi.
So good to see you.
You too.
Now, you remember when we first met?
I do.
I remember when we first met.
I didn't think
I discovered her. See, a lot of people don't know this. I discovered
He gave me my first TV debut appearance. Acting too. He told me he coached me and everything.
Yeah, see? Look at that. See? It all happened at a mall. Century City.
Century City, outdoor
You're going?
mall.
You're
I was
going?
going to the movies with my friend, and she was really jealous because Byron picked me and he didn't pick her. So.
I saw her, and I was doing a music video countdown. I was kicking down the 30 hottest music
Do you remember
videos.
what guy it was? The skit?
I think it was at...
Shava.
Shab. Slow and sexy. Slow and sexy.
Let's do the skit. You remember the skit?
No, I don't remember.
Oh, see, you don't remember it. I remember.
No, I remember I was at the mall and I needed a beautiful girl and I saw her walking by and I said, grab her.
And gave me $1.
I didn't get her phone number then. She was underage.
You tried. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
No, he's a man. He's a gentleman. He tried.
So now you're 21?
Yeah.
Ah, look at this. And this beautiful new house of
Don't
yours.
look that way.
Okay, I won't look that. We won't look that way at our beautiful new house.
Furniture yet. This is my kitchen, and that's the backyard. But we just laid a tarp. But we laid some cement down, and the tarp's over. This is my kitchen. This is the only thing that's kind of half furnished.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. So this is where you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
No, I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the couch in the den.
Oh, I see. The table's just for decoration.
Just for decoration. And
Okay.
I just scotch guarded the seats, and I don't want anybody to sit on them.
See, these are seats that you can't sit on.
You can't sit on them.
When we leave, the plastic goes back on them. Now, how old were you when you started modeling?
I was 16.
Right when I discovered you.
Who's that?
Is that your phone?
No, that's the doorbell.
I get the feeling it's her boyfriend. We're gonna leave now. What kind of guy are you looking for?
I'm not looking for any kind of
What kind of guy would you like? You can just look right in the camera and just, what kind of guy? Go ahead. That you find appealing, attractive.
5'2", dreadlocks. No, Jerry curl.
5'2", Jerry curl.
A gold tooth.
A go-to.
And give me something else. And a limp. I don't know. Just call 1-800-TYRA if you fit that description. I don't like slick guys. My friend is really into slick, like, hey, baby, how you? I'm not really into that. Just, like, hey, Tyra. But then, but not all the time like this. But, sometimes like that.
6'3", big hands. Hi, Tyra.
No, not like hi, Tyra like this.
What? Hi, Tyra.
Hi, Tyra like this.
Hi, Tyra.
Yeah.
Did you study acting?
No, never.
How'd you do such a terrific job in higher learning?
Oh, thank you. I'm all nervous now. I don't know. I just did it. I just like to observe people because I used to want to write, really. I was really into writing before directing. And I would really observe people and their quirks and their little things, you know. Even though my character was just a normal girl, kind of like me. But with other characters and stuff that I play around with, I always just look at other people and that's how I do it. More so than saying this technique and let me study and, you know, all that stuff. I'm not into that.
Now, it seems glamorous, what you do, but I know it's not. What is the hard part about what you do?
I think the hardest part for me is being around so much vanity, especially like backstage at a fashion show. There's so much ego, there's so much everybody trying to get theirs, and I'm just not a part of that, so I kind of look at it and write my diary about it and kind of laugh about it. But it used to get to me because I didn't understand, like, why did she say hi to me today and she didn't say hi to me yesterday? And, you know, and I used to flip out about all that. But now I just take it like a grain of salt and just laugh about it.
So you have a lot of egos back there.
I think so. I mean, but I think there's a lot of egos with anyone in entertainment. You know what I mean?
Not on this show. All righty. Well, thank you. Now, see, now don't forget, I discovered her. First person to put her on television.
For $1.
Look at that. Now, see the appreciation, the thanks.
He's discovered me, and I owe all the $5.
You know, life is grand.
Coming up next, Michael Richards, Rosie O'Donnell, Deion Sanders, and Diane Lane.
This is the hangar. This is our plane.
What's that?
That's a rock.
This summer,
Who's that guy?
he's a U.S. Ranger hitching a ride home. Con Air invites you to sit back,
Isn't that your car?
relax,
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna sit today.
and enjoy the ride.
Buckle up.
From Jerry Bruckheimer, producer of The Rock, Con Air, directed by Simon West.
I'm too old for this.
Rated R. Starts Friday, June 6th.
Who's the big man that slams the world with just one hand? You're damn
Acting is being.
Can't quite put my finger on it. Something just ain't right.
Shot, what's up the shot, Edits?
That's what I've been missing.
Don't even think about it. Pepsi. Generation Next.
Please?
Nah.
To be a diva takes confidence. Work it, girl. I'm talking about a confidence that starts inside and comes out in my smile because I know my teeth are incredibly clean. I'll let you in on something. My dentist told me to switch from regular toothpaste to Crest Tartar Protection because Crest has special tartar blockers that help reduce tartar buildup, something regular toothpaste just can't do. It'll help keep your teeth clean. You'll have the confidence of a diva, even if you're not on screen.
Crest. Tartar protection for a confident clean.
If your minty mouthwash tastes a little too medicine-y to you, it may smell medicine-y to them.
That was like kissing a hospital.
Who wants a minty mouthwash that smells so medicine-y? Get kissably close with Scope. Its invigorating tingle tells you it's killing millions of germs. Its minty taste tells you just how minty fresh your breath can be. Get kissably close with Scope.
Something totally different from Snackwell's. New Snackwell's reduced fat candy. Yes, like luscious chocolatey caramel nut clusters.
Ooh, I can't wait to try these candies.
New Snackwell's Caramel Nut Clusters candy.
They said we couldn't create a low-fat ice cream delicious enough to be called Haagen-Dazs. But we did it. Introducing Haagen-Dazs low-fat ice cream. Everything you want with just 3 grams of fat per serving. It's just perfect.
Now, we met, what, in 79?
Good Jesus, this is 79.
79, that's when you started doing stand-up comedy.
Right.
You used to be a bus driver for school children.
That's right, a private school.
Remember that. I remember seeing you on stage
And you would go on stage and not say a word. You go up there with an army helmet, all these plastic army men.
Wasn't that a wild stuff?
And you would just make sound effects for like 20 minutes.
And work with fire. I incorporated all that in Fridays. You remember the days.
Uh-huh.
And then I'd put everything away and go home and get ready to drive the bus the next morning.
I couldn't believe it. I thought...
Well, I couldn't believe you. You're doing stand-up, and then you're having to go back to high school classes the next day.
Yeah, but I mean, I started when I was a teenager. I go to school. You were a maniac.
There
and
weren't
then
many
the next
teenagers on the stage, writing, doing stand-up at the time.
Yeah, but
you're
you were
the young
driving
prodigy.
You were driving school children to school. I'm thinking, this guy...
He's going to take them...
Yeah, these parents haven't seen this guy's act.
Well, you're thinking like a comic. You have to work off it.
Yeah, exactly.
I had it under control.
Yeah, you still doing stand-up?
No, I don't do much of that anymore. Sometimes I'll go ahead and fool around on the floors, just mess around, loosen up, but I don't do it on a regular basis. Not like Jerry or Jay or Gary Shannon. You know, they like to get in there and play around and still keep it up, still keep it going.
Still keep it going?
Well, that's what's important to them. That's their fiber.
Right.
That's their heart. They love it. They live from it.
Right.
You know, like Jerry says, boy, when he has time off, he's just thinking about how he can go and do stand-up.
Okay.
But, oh, man, lighten up.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
Los Angeles.
Did you really?
Culver City.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. 4 years in San Fernando Valley.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get the idea to be an actor?
Oh, gosh. I was one all along, and then I took an acting class in 8th grade, and that did it. When I took that acting class, I had purpose.
I was
true
defined.
Purpose. Yeah. Until then, the school was trying to define me, with the courses that I was expected to take, and I was adjusting the best I could. I went primarily to school to be with my friends. Then I took that acting class. Boom. Woo!
That was it.
That's it.
Hey. Oh, you must be Kramer. I've heard about you.
Hey, you must be Aaron. I've heard about you.
Well, see you later.
Yeah. Bye. Okay. So, what are you guys doing for dinner, huh?
Well, we have no plans.
Look at that, Helen. Do you see what he's wearing? That's the executive.
Now, what is the executive?
The beltless trench coat. My father invented it. I sure did. Raincoats were my business. The executive was a classic. These haven't been made in 20 years.
Why would they? Nobody bought them then.
He's wearing one.
Yeah, these are a hot item at Rudy's.
You don't say. You know, I have boxes of those sitting in my garage in Florida.
Get them up here. You give me 25%, I'll take care of everything.
You got a deal.
Yeah, right.
Would you like to do a 9th season?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind flying with it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always room for that character. That character could stand anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a good writing staff. If everybody comes home, we'll make it a 9th year. It'll be fun. Yeah. We had a blast this year. We thought this was the last year, and then it all came up. Well, they want to go a 9th year. Here it comes, here it goes. All right.
It's your bachelor party.
I can't do this.
Come on, Charlie. If it weren't for me, all you'd ever do is work. One drink. Okay.
Now, while he's sleeping one off,
buddy,
the biggest trial of his life
My career.
is going on without him.
Mr. Tuttle.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to proceed.
You said you were me.
Trial and error.
I'm an actor. Out-of-work actor who covers for my buddy who's a lawyer. I go to court and I play a lawyer. And the court is there, and I have to make all the adjustments to the procedures. It gets just, it's fun.
Giving justice.
You're on one side, I'm on another. Can't we get around this law thing?
You're touching me.
A run for its money.
I don't pose, I don't preen, I don't put perjured testimony on the stand. I don't make a mockery of the American legal system.
Well, you got your style, I got mine.
After the show, after Seinfeld, would you like to go on and just do movies?
I'll make more movies.
You think you would go back to television?
Yes, I'll be back. I have a wonderful show idea and a character I want to bring back.
Can I be on it?
Byron, you're in.
Am I in your show?
You're gonna write this down, and you'll sue me if I'm not.
I have it on tape.
Okay.
I can be in your show?
Yeah, we'll make arrangements. You can come.
How the ladies treating you?
Fine.
Fine.
Oh, what? You want me to get into things, don't you? Look at you.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking. You have an opportunity.
You have an opportunity to tell us everything.
Yes, exactly. 1-800. This is my life.
Coming up next, Rosie O'Donnell, Deion Sanders, and...
Loose dentures? Not with Ezo denture cushions. Ezo has vacuum grip. Look. New dentures hold tight with a natural vacuum. As gums recede, dentures wobble. But add Ezo and you recreate the natural vacuum. Get the vacuum grip of Ezo denture cushions.
Is a backache keeping you down? Rise up from back pain with Momentum Backache Relief. Momentum is just for backache. It contains maximum strength backache medication, sold only for backache relief. Backache? Rise up from back pain with Momentum Backache Relief.
Most amazing moments on real TV. Over 140,000 people are crowding into the stadium for the soccer championship. But suddenly the stadium gives way and fans fall from the upper deck. Then this rare 1976 Star Wars screen test where Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford read for the role of their life. Plus those moments the gymnasts would rather forget. Amazing people, incredible events on real TV.
Monday at 7 on Channel 13 WTHR. When it's a story that affects Hoosiers.
Folks down here will tell you they haven't seen a flood like this in 33 years.
Channel 13 eyewitness news anchor John Stair doesn't just tell you about it from behind the desk. He takes you there.
For some people, today's 53rd presidential inauguration was... It dramatically shows just how quickly this dangerous smoke filled the room. Clouds have been working this area all day long.
John Stair, covering the big stories from where they happen. It's coverage you can count on, only on Eyewitness News.
Are you trying to consolidate some debt but still waiting for an answer on your loan? The longer you wait, the more you keep paying. Hi, I'm Dan Marino. Don't wait any longer. Call First Plus Financial today at 1-800-510-PLUS and get an answer before you hang up. If you're a homeowner, First Plus can help you consolidate all your credit cards and other loans into one low monthly payment. And the interest may be tax deductible. There's no application fees. So what are you waiting for? Call First Plus at 1-800-510-PLUS.